Hello Magic fans, I'm Beef and welcome back to another Historic Brawl gameplay video. And with the release of Tarkir Dragonstorm just around the corner, similar to last week, I wanted to play what felt like an appropriate Brawl deck. So we are playing a Dragon Tribal deck with Miirym Sentinel Wyrm as our commander. Miirym is a 6 mana commander in Temur, so that is green, blue and red. She, I don't know why I think she's a she, Miirym sounds like a female name, 6/6 flying, wall 2, and it says whenever another non-token dragon you control enters, create a token that's a copy of it, except the token isn't legendary. So obviously out of that suggests we want to get dragons down and copy those dragons and smash in with those dragons. So first up the pile is dragons. I'm not going to go through every single one because there are quite a few of them, but some of my favourite ones from here: Twin Flame Tyrant, which doubles up the damage we deal, and obviously we copy that, it would quadruple it. Wrathful Red Dragon, whenever a dragon we control is dealt damage, it deals that much damage to any target that isn't a dragon. Scourge of Valkyries is really good when this or another dragon we control and deals X damage to each target, where X is the number of dragons we control, and that's going to be quite high. Similar to Tyrant of Care Ridges, when it enters deals 4 damage to any target. Doubled up as well, obviously we're doing 4 times twice. So similar to Demanding Dragon, when it enters, it deals 5 damage to target opponent unless that player sacrifices a creature of their choice. So doubled up is going to do 10 or cause them to sacrifice 2 permanents. Creatures, sorry, not permanents. And, you know, things like Balefire Dragon and Incinerator of a Guildie can just wipe our opponent's board when we get in with them. Next up, we have Ramp. We are in green, so we do have Ramp, but obviously Miirym is a 6 mana commander, and all our dragons are quite expensive, so we do have lots of ways to ramp. Chromox, Birds of Paradise, Delightful Halfling, and then we have Orb of Dragonkind and Carnelian Orb of Dragonkind. Orb of Dragonkind, you have to pay 1 to tap it, add 2 mana of any combination, so essentially it ramps to 1. We can only cast it, use it to cast dragon spells or activate its ability as a dragon, and we can pay 1 red and tap it to sack it, look at the top 7 of our cards, and we reveal a dragon card from among them and put it into our hand, put the rest in the bottom of our library in any order. And the Carnelian Orb of Dragonkind, you can just add 1 mana of any colour, and if that mana is spent on a dragon creature, it gains haste, so that is very powerful as well. We did play Fuel Tank Feaster in my Tochich Ultimate deck the other day. It's a 2 mana dork, but then at the beginning of our first main phase, a random creature card with the greatest mana value among creature cards in our hand perpetually gains. This spell costs 1 less to cast, which is great for some expensive dragons. Fanatic of Ronus is really good because we've got a lot of big dragons, so its ferocious mode will be activated quite a lot. Rampant Growth, just to search for a basic land. Scaled Nurturer, we can tap it for green, and when we spend that mana to cast a dragon spell, we gain 2 life. Ruby Medallion, we only have the red medallion because, as you can see, most of our spells are red because most dragons are red. Arcane Signet, Sarkhan, Fireblood, we can tick up to add 2 mana of any combination of colours. We can only spend those mana to cast dragon spells. Chromatic Lantern, just to fix our mana. Patchwork Banner to tap and then to buff our entire board of dragons. And then Gilded Lotus, 5 mana, tap to add 3, just to help cast some expensive things. And next up, we have cards that specifically reduce the cost of dragons, and there are quite a few of them. Dragon's Lord Servant reduces them by 1. Dragon Speaker Shaman does it by 2. Fearsome Whelp does it by 1 at the beginning of each beginning of our end step, and it's each dragon card in our hand. This is one of the first alchemy cards ever printed, and I remember back then it was incredibly annoying because people would play historic dragon decks and just ramp out huge dragons very, very quickly. Sarkhan Solar Flame can also reduce them by 1, and then it can become a copy of a dragon when another dragon enters the battlefield. Herald's Horn, we choose dragons, it reduces it by 1. Zincubator, choose dragons, reduce it by 2. And then Sarkhan can tick up to give all dragons in our hand perpetually cost 1 less to cast, and we might pay X rather than pay the spell's mana cost, where X is mana value. Oddly, the UI in Arena I think is bugged because when it comes out the alternative cost, I think it would like pick a random dragon in your hand and say pay this cost with Balefire Dragon for some reason. I don't know why. You can also tick it up to conjure a Shivan Dragon to our hand. A really powerful dragon from Alpha, not as powerful anymore, 4 mana 5/5, and we can -2 to deal 3 damage to target creature. If we've got like a Ferocious Whelp down or a Fuel Tank Feaster, we might actually just want to tick up to create a Shivan Dragon because it's going to get the mana cost reduction from those. And with these, like the nut draw really is like a turn 1 Birds of Paradise, turn 2 Urza's Incubator, turn 3 Miirym, and we are then good to go. Next up, we just have some other dragon or tribal themed synergies. Draconic Roar, a 2-mana instant that deals 3 to any target creature, sorry, but we can reveal a dragon when we cast it, or if you control a dragon, it also deals 3 damage to that creature's controller. Adapted Automaton, we've seen on the channel before in standard tribal decks, or Kindred I should say. When it enters, we choose a creature. It is a creature of that as well, and all other creatures we control get +1/+1. Because it will enter as a dragon, Miirym will copy it as well. Roaming Throne, again, it enters as a dragon, and it will copy all the triggered abilities of Miirym. And interestingly, that walled is a triggered ability. So if we have Miirym out, play a Roaming Throne, we will get 2 copies of Roaming Throne, because the trigger will trigger once, doubled by Roaming Throne, and then that wall trigger will trigger 3 times, I think. Lozan is a dragon as well, but whenever we cast an adventure or dragon spell, we only have dragon spells. Lozan deals damage equal to that spell's mana value to any target that isn't a commander. So it's good to go face or take out opposing creatures that aren't commanders. Thrakus is also another dragon. It's a 3/4 with trample, and when it attacks, double the power of each dragon we control until end of turn. So basically it's going for a big alpha strike. And Backridge's banner, we can choose dragon. All creatures of all dragons get +1/+1. Then whenever we cast a creature of a chosen type, we draw a card. Next up, we have some removal. We are quite removal light for a deck in red, but we do have Lightning Bolt, Brotherhood's End. This will kill very few of our dragons. I think it will kill Lozan, and that's possibly it. Apart from like the Fuel Tank Feaster, but that's not a dragon, and some of our other mana dorks. Iltine Explosion, again, we have some big old cards. If we want to discard, we can wipe, we can do a lot of damage. And Roaring Furnace, the Roaring Furnace side, when we unlock it, it deals damage equal to the number of cards in our hand to target creature. And the Steaming Sauna causes us to draw an extra card at the big end of our end step, and we have no maximum hand size. Again, this counts as a 7-drop, so with Iltine Explosion, it can act as a really powerful board wipe. And next up, we just have other good stuff. Ragavan, because we're in red. Traverse Valley, I quite like to fetch a non-basic land card, so it'll probably fetch one of our fetch lands, or it might fetch a Nykthos. We are playing Nykthos in a 3-colour deck, but as I said earlier, most of our colours are red, so we do get quite high devotion. Up the Beanstalk, because we've got a lot of cards over 5. Rising of a Day to give our creatures haste. Garruk's Uprising to give our creatures trample. A surprisingly few number of dragons have trample. And also, we draw a card whenever a creature with power 4 or greater enters. Cabaret Raffles, such a stupid spell. Whenever we cast a creature spell, we seek a creature card with a mana value, then put it onto the battlefield. With all our dragon cost reduction, we can reduce the cost of dragons, so we can play them pretty easily. And to get other ones is quite bonkers. And if we play out like a Balefire dragon or a 7-drop, and we goes into Scourge of Valkus, and because Miirym is an enters trigger, not a cast trigger, we then double up the creatures we get. Rhythm of the Wild causes all our spells not to be counterable, and then non-token creatures we control have Riot. Riot means when it enters, we can either choose to give it haste or a +1/+1 counter. We will probably be choosing haste, and it only affects non-token creatures. You could also play something, you could play the Parallel Lives doubling season as well to double up the tokens from the dragons. And then Chimil, another thing to stop our spells being counterable. And beginning of our end step, discover 5. This can hit a lot of powerful dragons. And Immortal Sun, we do have a few Planeswalkers, but only 2. So there's a bit of a nombo, but I think it's such a powerful card, reducing the cost of our spells by 1, buffing our board, and drawing an additional card. Mana base is just a mishmash of all the double lands. We do have Ketra Triumph and Frontier Bivouac. They are essentially the same, although the Bivouac can't cycle and it doesn't have the basic land types. So we can't search for it with a fetch land. We do have a Nykthos. We do have Temple of the Dragon Queen. We do have 3 Tree City, because we end up having quite a few dragons on the battlefield. Unclaimed Territory as well, enters untapped, and it's a tribal land. And we do have Cavern of Souls for those matches against blue. So that's the deck. It is very, very powerful. When it goes off, you can flood the board with huge dragons. It's a lot of fun. Hope you enjoy it, and I'll see you all in the gameplay. Well, we do go first with a unfortunately too slow hand. This isn't much better. We need a 3rd land. That's not a 3rd land. That is a third land. On dragon. Play this on dragon as well. Well, let's put the Miirym back. Do we want Balefire Dragon or Drakuseth? Let's go Drakuseth. Obviously they can cast a tally. They can still cast a tally. They hit a fearsome whelp. That is not the end of the world for us. And a cultivate for them. I got a pretty big board, but so do we. Four, 3, and that's, well, more than lethal. Doubling up Drakuseth is quite ridiculous. Well, we do go first with a unfortunately too slow hand. This isn't much better. We need a third land. That's not a third land. That is a third land. On dragon. Play this on dragon as well. Well, let's put the Miirym back. Do we want Balefire Dragon or Drakuseth? Let's go Drakuseth. Obviously they can cast a tally. They can still cast a tally. They hit a fearsome whelp. That is not the end of the world for us. And a cultivate for them. I got a pretty big board. But so do we. Four, 3, and that's, well, more than lethal. Doubling up Drakoseth is quite ridiculous. Well, Rising of the Day is very powerful, but I think we need some earlier ramp. Hopefully we can survive into a third land. The Rift is powerful, but I need that land. Still need that land. Are we going to be the ones keeping a 2-lander when we shouldn't? Land. Dragon. And we'll play out the Lantern. Next time we can play out the Horn. We do have more cards in hand than them. That's really annoying. I think I just Glorybringer away into. Just be careful when you exert something. If you do attack all, it doesn't give the option to exert. And if we could draw land, which we do, we can get down Miirym. Doesn't matter. Robber of the Rich does have reach. But next turn we can exert the Glorybringer again. Oh, that's a bummer. Let's play Herald's Horn on Dragon. Let's dash Ragavan. Exert and attack. We'll kill Prosper. You know what? Let's ramp that. Let's ramp with their Iron Crag. So we can recast Miirym next turn. Let's hope they don't have another removal spell. Because War 2 at this stage in the game doesn't really do much. He stole our Terror of the Peaks. Fine. We should be able to see out the game. Oh, unfortunately, it is non-dragon creature, obviously. But they do have to block. They're down to 5, and so are we. Oh, if I dashed in Ragavan, I don't think it would have made much difference. We do have some beefy stuff back on defence. They've just stolen all our cards. We're down to 3. And yeah, we have, well, they can't block. Could we play out the Orb of Dragonkind and Dragonhawk? I think we could. We have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, we only needed 7. And if we get another mana from the Carnelian Orb, and that means we... one of them would have been hasted. I don't know if the copy would have been hasted. I think it would, because I think it would inherit the characteristics from the copy. So I think it would have been hasted as well. So we would have got a lot of triggers and just smashed in. We're in the mirror match. And turn 1 Ragavan. Well, I imagine they trade. Yep. Get down the orb. And then we can get down Miirym next turn. And next turn, Scourge of Valkus. Should be able to do a fair amount of damage. But they do have a lot of mana now. May just be able to get lethal from the Scourge. We can. Why did it trigger 3 times? Oh, yeah, because obviously it triggers. Then when the other dragon, it will see that trigger, and that dragon will see itself. So, yes, more than enough. Oh, Fearsome Whelp is good with all our dragons. Attracts is annoying since there's flying and Death Touch. We do have a decent hand. Let's Surveil turn 1. I'm going to keep that. Well, we may as well Surveil again. The actual cornucopia is really good with Atroxa, because obviously the proliferate. Sure, we will keep that for now. And I'm going to conjure the Shivan Dragon because it's going to get, rather dragons are going to get cost reduction anyway. Oof. So let me cast out the Revels. And then let me I still don't get how this works, but never mind. They need a board wipe, basically. Which they may not have. Because the Goldspan Dragon's going to come down. Do you really want to time warp while Atrox is on the battlefield? I mean, they have plenty of mana, but an empty board. Yeah, they go after Sarkin. Breach. They're going to get a lot of big dragons. Well, one big dragon. Yeah, Dracosaur and Liliana. It's not the end of the world.
Army will envelop this world. I will stand by as innocent people are slaughtered.
Yeah, that's the annoying one. I wanted that. Why didn't they get us a sack too? Fortunately, I can't Miirym and a Goldspan Dragon. I love Scourge of Valkus. Yep, that was fun. Mana drain. Well, we will hold up mana drain. I was hoping for something a bit more exciting than that. Let's get out Arcane Signet and hold up mana drain again. Dragon. Let's play out the Dragon Lord's Servant. There you have something. but they are not doing it, whatever it is. I don't think any of this. No. Well, they could have adapted, I think, maybe. If I don't play out their commander, I think we just wait until we can Miirym with mana drain backup. She's not far away from me to do, I don't think. If we draw a land, we can do it next turn. They've definitely got a counter spell. Palantir gone. I do have an island. That is an issue. So they can get in. Do they sack a couple of creatures? They do not. Because we've got 16 in the air. They must have something. Well, let's... Gnawbone? Why white? Yeah, so you need a 1 mana bounce spell, which obviously in blue they could have. But yeah, I was never going to do it. Well, Ruby Medallion, we do have a Cavern of Souls in a non-blue deck. Playing the Grazer and getting their ramp going. Merely their deck is entirely ramp, so we obviously do need a lot of red. Next turn we can Thunder Break Regent. No, we can't. That is very annoying. I would love Brother's End. Have a 4/4. Well, I think that's us done. If they somehow miss their land drop, then next turn we can Tyrant and take out the Hydra. Or even if they do hit a land drop for only one. Pretty. Ooh. That gives us an opportunity. I imagine they jump with the Grazer, yeah. And next turn, can we Miirym and Bone Horde? So 1, 2. I don't think we can, just because we might. I think we've got enough red. We do. I'm going to be greedy. That is quite funny, to be fair. What's really good as well is it will basically, it now doubles up Ward, essentially, because Ward is a triggered ability. I don't know why we didn't block with the Birds of Paradise. I just want to see how many Bone Horde Dracosaurs I get. 6, maybe? Oh, I wanted to see how many